This morning, the Labor Department released the March employment report, and CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here to explain the results. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, so tell us about the report. Did it come in on target?
Totally spot on. Unbelievable. This usually does not happen, but we were expecting, literally, the analyst was 238,000. It came in at 236,000.
Wow.
We don't see it that precise. The unemployment rate drifted down just a touch, 3.5%. But it's very strange because the unemployment rate has basically been in a range of 3.5% to 3.7% for the better part of a year. So, I mean, very much as expected. One part of the report I think the Fed's going to be really happy about, wages. Now, you know, you hate it when I come on and I say, okay, the wage growth, it's starting to slow down.
Yeah.
But the Fed likes that. As wages really start to percolate, it can kick up inflation. Wage growth annually up by 4.2%. Just to put that in perspective, a year ago, last March, we were at 5.9% wage growth. So as that starts to come down, there is some indication that maybe inflation is also going to be coming down.
That's a good thing.
All right.
All right. So the bank, bank instability we've been talking about, has that spilled into the labor market?
We won't see it in this report. You know, when the Labor Department does all the surveys, it's basically through the 12th of the month. So through March 12th. And most of that banking unrest began at March 10th and March 12th. So it's really the days after. We'll wait till the next report. There may be some evidence of that, maybe in professional and business services. They'll pull back on hiring, but not in this one.
Right. Okay. So how should people look at a labor report? You know what I mean? How, like they say, how does this affect me?
Right. Okay. I think big picture, this is what's happening. The labor market is starting to slow down. That is actually not a bad thing because, again, if job creation is surging, if wages are surging, it's probably contributing to inflation as well. So there are these dual tracks that you really have to think about, which is we want a strong enough labor market so people are participating. We want people to come back in the labor force. We want wages to stay ahead of inflation. But when it gets too hot, that is a sign that maybe prices are really about to follow. So I think this is a report that should give people like a pretty decent feeling. Leisure and hospitality is still just 2.2% below where it was before the pandemic, so jobs still need to get filled in that area. But overall, job growth continues. If we get to 150 or 100,000 jobs a month, it's not a cause for concern. It's just this notion that, okay, we surged after the pandemic, after we lost so many jobs. Now we're sort of getting back to normal.
That feels good.
Yeah.
Now, do we get a feel for what careers and what jobs are hot and not right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting because obviously we hear about technology, media laying off tons and tons of people, but those are just certain sectors. Leisure and hospitality continues to grow. Business and professional service continues to grow. Healthcare continues to grow. Retail actually lost jobs last month. So we're starting to see this sense of like how things are shaking out. And by the way, a lot of people who are in technology are moving to other fields. Like if I'm a programmer and I go work for a healthcare company, doesn't mean I'm getting a job as a nurse. It means I'm a programmer in the healthcare field now.
Right,
so I think there's a lot of shifting in the labor market.
Just keep your mind open.
Mind open and see, you know, and really the trend is actually a good trend.
Yeah. Okay. Jill Schlesinger, thank you so much for being here.
Sure.
Great to see
Great
you.
to see you.
And you can see Jill regularly on CBS Morning and the CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell. For more analysis, go to JillOnMoney.com.